Welcome back, gamers, to episode 2 of the Mediocre Gamers. I am the co-host Travis Corey, aka INF Rebel, at FacebookGaming.com, and joined by always is my hetero life mate Kenny Thorson, DMI Patriot, at FacebookGaming.com as well. Today we'll be talking about PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Scarlet, or whatever they're calling it. The differences, what we're looking forward to, kind of the specs and other, things that could be coming, price points, stuff like that. Then we're also going to be talking about our love of gaming and how we got started. We're old, so we played Atari. Then we moved on to Nintendo, where I really fell in love with gaming, kind of some of our favorite Nintendo games. And then we're going to do a Last Dance review, kind of talk about the Michael Jordan documentary that just aired. And then we're going to go over some movies, some news about Gambit and some other things. But first things first, I want to get him on record admitting, if you look at both of our streams, you'd see on mine where it says a follower count. And I was on my road to 200. Then, a couple weeks later, I happened to see DMI Patriot stream. Lo and behold, follower count to 200. Now, I want to get this on record that you copied me.
I did not. Actually, if you go back,
I want you to admit it.
If you go back farther, you will see that I had once done that before.
Mm-hmm. So admit it, you copied me, and I will admit that I copied one of your things. Admit it now. You copied me.
You threw up a good idea, and I thought it was a great way to maybe get some more followers. So yes, I added it in there.
Okay, and I did copy. You're a true rebel. Now the next thing that I want to discuss is I came up with this genius idea of only doing like pre-lobby highlight clips of kills, and then you try to say you came up with it. No, that was 100% my idea.
I don't know about that. I think we just think alike. I think that's what the problem is here. Is
but we just orally spoke it in chat. Orally spoke it out loud. Words came out of my mouth about like, what would be a great little corner market is just doing pre-lobby kills and just do a little series on it.
Yeah.
But maybe you weren't in the chat. Maybe it was some of the guys I was playing with. But we do think a lot alike. So I wanted to get those things out of the way while we had it, live on camera. So there we go. So finally, he admits I'm a genius and got some ideas, which I'm fine with. But so we are trying to get to 200 followers. I'm at like 150 right now. When I started, I was at 138.
I'm working on 250 right now.
Yep, and he's well surpassed that, so he is cheating and beating me. But that's neither here nor there. But it is a grind. We're both Pipeline members with Stone Mountain and Snoopy, whatever. They started kind of give us a playbook, so we're working and grinding. We'll discuss, some of our struggles later. But so let's get to the PlayStation 5 Xbox.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot. Some Xbox came out with a lot of their basically core components that they're doing. They have an 8-core GPU that's going to be a little bit faster supposedly than PS5. I don't think we've got a legit answer on what all of PS5's components are. I think a lot of it's mostly rumor. But Xbox does seem like they are on the hardware side. They're going to be a little bit better than PlayStation 5 for sure. Just because of the GPU itself is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a 12 teraflops. I'm not even sure. I'm in IT. I'm not even sure what a teraflop is. How much, but that does supposedly that helps render gaming or games a lot better, and gives you a lot better look and feel on the games. So, but Travis, what are you most excited about on Xbox versus PlayStation 5? Which one are you leaning towards?
I mean, so here's the latest PlayStation specs that kind of announced it, and I said they're going to have an official game list announcement come, I think June. But I mean, yeah, I mean, they're both like neck and neck. But I have read some of the things that, well, PlayStation, they're going to have external storages that you're going to have to buy, and that's kind of like the original PlayStation when you had those memory cards.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot made right now for them, so that could be one of the drawbacks. But I am absolutely loving the PlayStation controller design. I think it is sleek. I think it's sharp, and the capabilities that I'm reading for like the aim and shoot, they're trying to make it more like realistic, so you can kind of feel the pull and stuff on it because the sensitivity. So I mean, not only that, I mean, there's a lot of. I hate that there's exclusives to each thing. I think we should just have cross-platform, and so there's no exclusives. But we both have gaming PCs, so anything I want to play on Xbox, and we've been Xbox guys forever, that we can play on PC instead. Where I think I am going to go towards the PlayStation 5. They lost. Xbox blew them away when it was Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So I'm hoping that they make a comeback. So that their big thing is like no load speed. It's just rendering, boom, you're up and running, you're playing. So you don't have to wait for these load times and stuff.
Yeah, and that's a big thing also, is that a lot of these are going to have solid state hard drives.
Right.
So internal storage for PlayStation 5 is going to have 100 or 825 gigabyte solid state drive, and Xbox is going to have 1 terabyte solid state drive. So I mean, again, we're looking at 175 gigabytes of difference there in solid state capacity. But I think I don't if PS5 is going to be adding in the external slots and stuff like that, so that's naturally going to start increasing that way. And I don't expect those to be very expensive. I really don't, because I can buy a 128 gig little micro S solid state drive. You know what I mean? I can buy one of those, for $25. So I mean, it's you're not expecting to. I don't think, like when I was younger, those 8 megabyte, megabyte PlayStation things, those things cost $30 back then.
Yeah. Like, yeah, not only that, if you don't have it, you're out of room. What did you do? You left your fucking running. Like, yep. Don't touch this. I'm on this.
Yep.
I don't have a save. I need this. But I mean, I think a lot of it's going to go towards streaming. So I know there's talk about like 2 different systems. Yeah. One that's going to have like the disc, and one that's going to be strictly stream based or online purchases. But I mean, for the Xbox controller, it didn't really look like they changed anything. It's still a standard controller. But not only that, I don't know what they actually look like, but from like what their guesses are, that like huge box, the thing is ugly as shit.
Yeah.
Like that Xbox, if it's just a giant clunky box, no thank you.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm not gonna, like, I don't put that shit on show either. So it does. I don't need it to look sexy. I mean, it takes up like a lot of room. It looks like it's clunky. I like the when they first said, "Oh, you can lay these down." Like, ooh. Yeah. I see where you're coming from on the design aspect, but we don't even know what the PlayStation 5 is going to look like yet.
That's true. That is very true. But I mean, I think PlayStation has a lot of like games. Personally, I miss MLB The Show. I mean, I don't know why Xbox doesn't have a
baseball game. Yeah.
We don't have that. I mean, then you got, some like, I'm not a big Halo guy, so I don't really care. I don't play Halo. So if I don't have an Xbox, I can't play Halo. It's not a big deal to me because I don't play Halo.
Yeah.
Which I know is a lot of people's thing is like, hey, I love Halo.
Yeah.
And that's why they like the Xbox. I mean, then there's God of War. I had a PlayStation Mini or whatever those things were called when I was in Afghanistan. I absolutely love God of War. And there's a lot of different games. I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to come out with the games, but they're both talking about being like right away backwards, compatible with the PlayStation 4 games and the other Xbox. So if you buy like Cyberpunk 2077, you don't have to buy it once because you're going to be able to play it on the next gen. So that is nice, except like, Call of Duty and those other games, I don't think you'll be able to, is what I was saying. But for a lot of them, You're basically going to take your games you currently have and be able to play them right away on the new next gen systems.
Yeah. I did see that Activision did come out and say that Warzone will be spec'd for the new consoles also. So they're expecting they're expecting Warzone to be multi-year battle royale. So I think it's gonna. I think that's. I love that they're doing that. Is they're going to be pushing.
Which is weird though, because they're talking about holiday, so about Thanksgiving probably usually.
Yeah.
And that's the next one's coming out. It's gonna be the next Black Ops.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna quite do, because people are still playing Black Ops 4 or Blackout. They're still playing that, and then you have Warzone, which is now free. Do you think the next Call of Duty is gonna have another free battle royale, or is it gonna be,
I think I think they're going to be just like Fortnite. They're going to have seasons, and they're going to keep changing Warzone with and pull in elements from the new games. So I would fully expect. So if we have like, I would fully expect to see like Black Ops guns start coming into Warzone when that new one comes out, like the M16 and stuff like that. It's going to be a remastered, or not a remastered, but a reimagined Black Ops. So they're resetting the. So I think it's going to be much more realistic than, how Infinity Ward had it, or is it Infinity Ward?
I think it's Treyarch.
Treyarch. It's much more cartoony. It's much more. Their movements are more cartoony and stuff like that. But I think that's going to go away.
But my thing is, they already have Blackout, so why would Black Ops 5 put resources into Warzone? Why won't they just continue on their own Black Ops or Blackout? And maybe when it comes around for Black Ops 5, they make the Warzone free to play that's on 4, and just kind of build on that.
I don't think it was built that way. I think it was built on as an add-on, because if you remember, there was a lot of hiccups, and that they basically threw out the game mode, basically the single player game mode. Story mode. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, story mode. They threw out the story mode to make the battle royale.
Yep.
So that was thrown together. I don't think that was imagined to be a multi-year thing. And then I think the Warzone, like their battle royale mobile component on Activision, that's doing the same thing, because that came out during Black Ops also. Their mobile battle royale. So I think they're just planning on having those two components just keep running. They're completely different identities, but they'll bring in aspects.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Who knows what's going on over there? Yep. But so are you going PlayStation or, Xbox? We don't really know the price points right now. The speculation is going to be, $500 to like $650. I believe that's kind of where it's at. Kind of because it's so expensive to build, because these are basically going to be like the end of consoles, because these are going to basically be the best technology there is. So they don't imagine new consoles coming out after this. So, where are you leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards PS5, mostly for the same aspects that you have. We've been on Xbox for a while. I don't see Xbox having games that I won't be able to play on the PC. Or games that I would want to play that aren't on the PC. I think I'm going to stick with Call of Duty and stuff like that, but also like Cyberpunk looks amazing. And that's the one game that I'm super stoked about this year, is that. So, and I would love to I never got into God of War or stuff like that. I think that stuff would be great to play. And I think that they're coming out with a new one here soon for that.
Yeah, I think so. There was that other one. It was like Drake is a treasure hunter. I don't remember what it's called. But that was like a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, and same with Tomb Raider. I played a lot of Tomb Raiders when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was younger too, but that's also on PC. So again. So it's just it's what all you. I don't know if I'm gonna like the controller. I will most likely buy a SCUF controller that looks like an Xbox controller for the PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that video that they came out with about their controller was crazy. And like actually I saw this reimagined controller that could have been, and it basically was like a PlayStation, and then in the middle popped up and it was like a mini screen on your controller. Dude, it looked crazy.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know
that's
that
awesome.
was like maybe someone made that themselves, but
Yeah.
man, like I don't know. I think it looks slick. The only thing that I hate about playing multiple consoles is the X button is different on every single system, whether
Yep.
it's Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch. It's all different. Like hit X and you're like, okay, what is that? So that'll probably take a getting used to, because I think
Yeah.
X on PlayStation will cross on PlayStation is bottom, Xbox is left, and Switch is up, I think. So that's the only thing. They're all the same, and you've got to figure out where they're at. But I'm excited to see what they offer. I did. Did you watch that gameplay of the PlayStation 5 of? I don't remember what game it was.
I didn't.
They did a demo of it, and it looks sick, buddy.
Did it?
It's
The
smooth.
only demos that I saw was for the Xbox that came out like not too long ago. Like
Yeah, it
where they
was
had that
Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
So that came out as the PlayStation. It does look super slick, super, but it's all going to see. Also, the question I have is, are they actually been able to deliver on all of these? Because here's all the specs, but they haven't really been tested. I mean, it's like, how's it overheating? How's it overclocking? All this other stuff. And only that, in this pandemic, are they even going to be able to hit the mark come this holiday to be released this year?
Yeah, and that's I think with Xbox and with PlayStation, I think with the pandemic, there are, because they shut down production in a lot of the in China, where most likely these are being produced.
Correct.
So we might see limited numbers come Thanksgiving. So we might not be able to get them this year. We might have to, depending on who we know and how we can get stuff. I mean, we might not be able to get it until beginning of next year.
It's a good thing I got a buddy that works at Target, so hopefully he's still working there come this holiday season.
Throw one in the back for you.
Yep. We both worked at Target. We know how it works.
Yep.
So that's how, if you guys didn't know, that's how we met. We met at Target. I worked in the meat department. He worked in produce, and it was just a match made in heaven.
Yep, because everybody hated us. That's
Right.
We were the only cool people to hang out with each other. So
that's right. So I think that's pretty well on PlayStation, Xbox. More to come, obviously, when they release more stuff. Sony's being super secretive about things. No idea why. Xbox has basically released everything they're going to do. June sometime is where they're going to have their game release, like supposedly, so we can kind of look at the games that they're going to be coming out with. But shifting gears, we're going to shift over to Nintendo, the original Nintendo. That's what I fell in love with. We did play a little Atari, Pong, Frogger, Pitfall.
Oh
there
yeah, Pitfall. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite too, dude. That was kind of like an RPG. I love RPGs, but I mean that's kind of where we got started. I didn't have a lot of them, but Nintendo was what got me hooked on gaming. Basically, it came with Mario, Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and if you were rich enough, you could also get track and field with the pad.
Ooh.
But a lot of people don't know is that Duck Hunt is a 2-player game. The second player, you can move the ducks.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. But I'd say the game that got me hooked is The Legend of Zelda. Hands down, got me hooked on these RPG games. I love the aspect of it. The only issue is I always thought the hero was Zelda. It took me a while to learn that the princess is Zelda and the hero is actually Link.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I never got into Zelda. I don't know why. I feel like I would have as a kid, and I think had I got into like those types of games, it would have opened up gaming for me a little bit more. But for me, I mean, hands down, Super Mario 3 was my favorite. I also love
one thing to touch on that. Do you remember the movie The Wizard? Where okay, okay, so it had a Fred Savage in it and Christian Slater, and the like little brother was like this prodigy like Nintendo kid, and like wanted to go to California. So they go to California to compete in this like Nintendo spectacular, and that's when Super Mario Brothers 3 was introduced.
Oh.
He figured out the whistle without ever playing the game. It always bugged me that he knew this trick. But if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie about gaming. It's it's called The Wizard.
I'm gonna have to
And
check it out.
it even has the Power Glove in it with this guy who was like the top ranked Nintendo player. I'm sure it was probably, Dr. Disrespect-ish when he was a teenager. But that always bothered me. He just knew where it was at. But
Yeah.
what are some other games you loved on Nintendo?
Kirby. Yes, Kirby was amazing for me. Like I love the idea of like puffing up and then flying, and then you had like, I don't know, it, even though it was a 2D side scroller, it the way you were able to move in that game made it feel more 3D. That's just the way I feel about it, and I think that's just the way it was. I felt. And I was just so surprised that they were able to do that. Like, looking back now, that they were able to do all of that stuff on 8-bit. Like,
right.
That's insane to me.
The ultimate Nintendo game that everyone knows, Contra with the 30 life cheat hidden code. Everybody knows.
Konami code.
That game was amazing. Got to get the S. Got to get the spray.
Yep.
I mean, that was probably hands down one of my favorites. You got Metroid, you got in there. Castlevania, I believe. Yep, Castlevania was in there. Double Dragon, Psych Bike, RC Racing. I mean, these are just some of my favorite games, and I love that these companies now are doing like these releases, like with the Nintendo Classic, so you get to play some of these games that are all in there, so you don't have to have the original Nintendo. Back in our day, I think there was this video they showed these kids, they gave them the Nintendo and they said, here you go, plug it in, and they couldn't figure it out. And then once they finally got it figured out, they couldn't get it to play. They didn't know how to blow on the cartridge and then like slam it in a certain way to get it to play.
Yep.
Ninja Gaiden. I mean, there were so many classic Nintendo games that got me and loved the games. And Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl, Super Punch Out.
Oh, Bo Jackson.
I remember, yep. Super Tecmo Bowl. All you need is Bo Jackson. That's where I fell in love with the Raiders.
He was the original 99 player.
Yep. And you got him. He only has 2 plays. That's all you need.
Yep.
But I remember when I was a kid for Christmas, I begged and begged. That's what I wanted. And so they let me open a present Christmas Eve. Okay. So I opened it, and it was a Carnation Instant Breakfast box. I threw a fit. I cried. I threw everything around. Like, I had a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, dummy, why don't you open it? Open it up. Super Tecmo Bowl.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's embarrassing, but, I was like 8. I don't care. I wanted a Super Tecmo Bowl. But, yeah, full-on meltdown.
Nice.
But, yeah, I mean, that's how I fell in love with gaming. There's so many great games on it, and like I love you see now is the Mario makers. A lot of these people are making different Mario levels, and a lot of people are streaming it and showing it like these different hard levels. So it kind of keeps the Mario brand alive.
Yeah, there are new Mario games that are coming out still, like that are coming out for the Switch, and those look pretty dope. I mean, but I just don't know if I can get into those. I know some people that play them, but again, I love Mario Kart. I mean, that's
classic.
Yep.
That wasn't on Nintendo.
It wasn't on Nintendo. I know that. Yep.
Super Nintendo. We're keeping it on Nintendo here, sir. The original. You got any other classic games that you remember? Did you ever play Blaster Master?
No, I never played Blaster Master.
God, you're missing out. You missed a whole thing of it, bud.
Yep. No, I loved Super Mario 3. I played the hell out of that. I could beat that relatively quickly. I also liked a lot the ugly stepchild Super Mario 2.
Dude, that wasn't even supposed to be a Mario game. Did you
I
know
know.
that?
They just changed the sprite. They just changed the characters on it.
Yeah, they're just like, well, this game sucks. Let's just throw in Mario characters.
Yep.
But you had to be Toad because he dug the fastest.
Yeah. Like that game was so weird. It was like Super Mario Brothers reimagined on acid. That's what
Yes.
that's what I would compare it to. It was
Dude, that
because
was
it's not
such a weird game, dude.
it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but I loved it.
Oh man, that was such a game. Mega Man was classic.
Oh, and
But I mean, there's
Metroid also was on there.
Metroid. But the classic though, Tetris, that's still one of the highest grossing games of all time. People still play it all the time. I mean, did you ever? I don't know if Goonies was on Nintendo. It might have been Super Nintendo. But if you loved the movie Goonies, you had to play it.
Yeah. What else did they have? They had some BMX games on there also that were pretty good.
Yeah. Sight Bike
Yep.
was one. You could kind of make your own jumps and stuff. I don't know if Off Road was on Nintendo. I'm pretty sure it was, or if that was on Super Nintendo. But I couldn't, after a while, you couldn't beat that stupid white driver.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had RBI Baseball. God, that game was so good. Double Dribble.
Oh, I just thought about this. California Games.
Yeah.
With the fucking hacky sacks and stuff.
Yes.
Yes. That was and
I don't know.
you could do a BMX bikes and you could surf. All of that. Oh man. Now that's bringing back a lot right there. Holy buckets.
And then you had Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh.
Which eventually got changed after his Alec went to prison, and it was just Super Punch Out. But Mike Tyson Punch Out, still trying to beat him was the hardest.
Yeah.
You had the Sandman, you had all those classic guys in there, and just figuring out the little intricate things, how to hit them. I've never beat Mike Tyson in the game till this day. Still can't beat him.
Yep. Neither have I. Never got it.
It's just back and forth, it's Soda Pop, Glass Joe, all those classic guys.
Left, right punch.
Right. Get your stars, hit select, do your super punch. Then you get knocked down, you got to hit select to get health back. And you got the guy who cheats and kicks you in the face. There's no kicking in boxing. Come on, guys. Bunch of cheaters over here.
Yep.
I don't know what the ref's looking at. Clearly see it. Everyone can see it coming.
Yep.
But
all right. I think
so that was good on that. I mean, that was, our stroll down Nintendo. So we're probably going to do a little series here. So next series, next episode, we're probably going to talk about Super Nintendo or maybe even Sega. Kind of go through the years of youth gaming with us.
Yeah.
And eventually get to the motherlode of all RPGs of 64, GoldenEye.
Absolutely.
You gotta love GoldenEye.
So NASCAR started back up this the past couple weeks.
It did, and the whole starting position thing is just so weird to me because we're in a NASCAR fantasy thing where you pick drivers, and how there is some strategy to it, but the whole pole position kind of gives you an idea of how they're running, and without that, it's the crapshoot.
Yep. Yep. So for me, for how I choose is I actually look at the practice runs also. Check out their average times on their practice runs. There's no practices. So I don't know how to, so I'm just throwing up drivers I would assume that are going to do good. And it's not, I'm not doing horrible, but I'm not doing great on it. And I'm not enjoying the new setup. I don't like it. I think it takes away a lot of the competition because you have guys that are going out like first couple laps because they haven't practiced on it. You know
right.
what I mean?
So they get like a couple. Not only that, it's Sunday and now it's Wednesday.
Yeah, they're trying to
What?
catch up.
Right. And on top of that, they let golf play, and then what do you see? Rain everywhere. Like, hey, no, you can't have sports people. We're not going to let you. We're going to rain every single event you guys have.
It was
I mean,
all across the U.S.
right.
Rain
And
everywhere.
last night we had what? Peyton and Tiger versus
Yep.
Brady and Phil.
Yep. It was great.
Right.
Did you end up
It
watching
was
it?
great. I watched a little bit here and there. You know, there was some smack talk between them. You know,
Yeah.
you got great smack talkers in Phil and Peyton.
Yeah.
You know, it's great to see them going on, like, you know, because we had the Tiger versus Phil, then you add, you know, two of the greatest quarterbacks there is, and he's making little jabs at Brady, you know.
Yeah.
Before that, talking about his house arrest, you know, they're going to let him off his ankle monitor because he accidentally broke into the wrong house when he moved to Tampa. And
Yep.
so, I mean, it's nice to get back. You know, you can see some sports for
Yep.
people that love it. We got UFC back, so we got to see some fights. We got golf.
Yep.
You know, they're hoping that baseball's coming back here in July. But then again, I mean, are we going to have fans in the stands? Are they going to be playing in empty stadiums?
I
You know,
think so. And how is that going to change the dynamic of everything? That's what I want to know. Same with football. I mean, that's going to be interesting.
Years back with the Orioles had like their riots and they played a game in an empty stadium.
Yeah.
It was awkward.
Yep.
But I mean, as long as you get to watch on TV, I guess it's okay. But I mean, the whole point, you know, feeding off the crowd and being in that atmosphere, you know, I don't know what this is going to be. We're going to have football. We're going to have these sports. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But, you know, nobody knows what's going on. You know, do these players even want to play? Do they want to risk it? Do they want to do this? Is there going to be certain things in their contracts that they're going to like add provisions to it or something?
Yeah. Yep. But I think the greatest thing to come out of all of this, all of the pandemic shit, not just the Tiger guy, but also
fuck Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin, but The Last Dance. The Last
Dance.
Yes. It was great. It was great. How many weeks? It was 5 weeks. 5 weeks of The Last Dance.
5 weeks, 10 episodes. Yep. That chronicled his career.
Yep.
Which a lot of people are pissed now. Like Horace Grant saying that's bullshit and call Michael Jordan a snitch for saying the stuff in the 80s. Scotty was upset about some of the things Jordan said. But
how can you be? I want to ask that question. How can you be a snitch 30 years later? Like,
right,
you're out. How is this affecting you?
That was what was going on in Chicago.
It was literally a headline. That's where he got the. It's like,
and then they're saying the pizza. Well, that was, you know, Sam Smith or other reporter. He was saying some of the stuff was lies in it, but the fact that guy could just get up on nothing and then all these fake, like Michael Jordan stories is like, yeah, I walked to the hotel and the doorman didn't say hello, so I scored 117 points that night and 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
You know, this is stuff that's like all he needed. He like was just so good that he needed to invent stuff to like up his game. Like,
yeah,
I remember I think it was Kevin Garnett, and I think it was Isaiah Ryder. When Isaiah Ryder was on the team and he was having a good game, and Kevin Garnett started talking smack to Michael Jordan, and then Michael Jordan up scoring like 30 points and shut him down in the fourth quarter. And then they were both on the bench out of breath. He was like, my bad. Man, like, after you watch this, like, I don't know how you compare LeBron to him. The guy is just an animal. Yeah, LeBron can pass to all other stuff, but Jordan is just a different beast, different mentality. Like, he wanted to embarrass you.
Yeah. And I think that's what really drove it home for me. It was like, yeah, because I thought about, you know, that LeBron, Kobe, and Michael Jordan were all in, you know, absolutely top echelon of basketball players. But then everybody was like, oh, but, you know, Jordan couldn't win without Scotty and blah, blah. But I mean, LeBron and Kobe were the same way. Well, Kobe didn't win championship without Shaq. You
He
know,
won.
or until
Yeah, he
Shaq
did.
came. I
Well,
thought,
he won three with 3 or 4 with him, and he won because he has more than Shaq. Shaq only has 4, so they won 3 together, and Kobe won 2 without him.
oh,
Because
gotcha.
Shaq won one in Miami with Wade.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty So Kobe did, but I mean, you need help. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely. And
the only
it's a
person who didn't
five-person
was
game.
Bill Russell. I mean, who
Yeah.
didn't tell you he was on his team, but no one talks about him. He has like
And
11.
Walt. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Magic
Or
had
Wilt. Yeah.
Kareem and Worthy. The
Yep.
Detroit Bad Boys. Larry had Parrish and McHale. I mean, everyone has to have help. That's just how they build it around. LeBron didn't win shit till he went to Miami and played with Dwayne Wade. I mean,
Yep.
you could, and then basically Ray Allen bailed him out to get him the second one. The Cleveland one, what if Draymond Green didn't go out in Game 5? He might not have won one. That kind of changed the whole
Yeah.
dynamic there. He's an all-around great player, yes, but he's no Jordan. He's never
Correct.
gonna.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's making like when he won the championship, tweet out was like, I know that feeling. Like he couldn't even give him his proper dues. He had to kind of make it about himself. I just don't like that he's a crybaby. He cries about everything. He flops. Like, dude, you're 6'8", 280.
Yeah.
No one's knocking you down by barely touching you. Stop faking it. You're not playing soccer.
Yep. Absolutely.
Drive the damn home and dunk the ball.
No, I think Jordan was the all-time best. I think there's a possibility that he could have won 7.
No, it could have been 9 if he didn't. If his dad didn't die, what could have happened in the 94, 95 seasons? He might never wouldn't play baseball. But on top of that, if the baseball strike never happened, where Jordan even came back, he might have stuck playing baseball.
Exactly, and that's what the owner of the Sox was saying, is that he was progressing at such a speed that they were like, he's absolutely going to be in the majors. Like, they couldn't throw him down to like the corn leagues. You know what I mean? They couldn't throw him down there because the press boxes were too small. So they had to have him in AA. And he was coming and not playing baseball since middle school. You know what I mean? He's batting 250.
Yeah, and there was a lot of
crazy
stories that the catchers would tell him what pitches were coming.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, we got a fastball here."
Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Just AA ball.
But he did have a slump. He went on like a pretty good streak of hitting every game. And then they started throwing change-ups to him, and he couldn't hit a change-up ball.
Curveballs.
Was it curveballs? Okay.
Curveballs, yeah.
Yeah, and then he couldn't hit them. And so, but people lock onto that, saying, they would just throw curveballs at him. But the thing is like towards the end of the season and the next season, he was hitting them.
I mean,
he only got pitched curveballs for a long time, so he started practicing nonstop to try to hit them.
I mean, that guy's work ethic was absolutely next to none. But I mean, like anything, it's going to take practice. But I mean, they say one of the hardest things to do is to hit a baseball. It's, I think, like 6.5 feet away, coming at you between 85 to 100 miles per hour. You have about a second reaction time, maybe one or 2 seconds reaction to swing a bat and hit the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much time. So you literally have to make a judgment on this, the seams and this, if it's spinning, and like good pitchers, a fastball, curveball, sinker, slider, they all look the same coming out, and it's just a slight movement.
Yeah. And then you have to just judge where it's going. You're swinging at where you were expecting the ball to be, not where it's at.
It's basically Drew Brees throwing a pass because he's so short. He throws it where you're supposed to be without seeing you there.
Correct. Yeah. It's amazing. Right. It's craziness to me. Like the fact that people can do that. And it's...
Yes, 100%. I mean, I played baseball my whole childhood going into high school, and still my all-time favorite sport. And it is literally the hardest thing to do, is to hit a baseball coming at you that fast with such slow reaction,
Yeah.
You need quick reaction time to, make contact.
Yep.
But I mean, you got to see like all these the great stories. I mean, it would have been. I don't know if you could have done the things that he could have today with the social media aspect because he was bigger than life. And, anything like when he would go gamble or do something, everyone would be recording him. Especially think of Dennis Rodman, what was in the pros
Yeah.
today with his antics. And I just love like the scenes like, yeah, I found him in Vegas, and I'm not gonna say he was in bed with. Next scene, so Carmen Electra. So I was in bed with Dennis Rodman, and Michael Jordan walks in. How are you gonna call him a snitch? He's not saying that Rodman's in bed with, but you're gonna call him a snitch on something else.
Yep.
That was just hilarious how they added that back to back.
Yep. No, it was great. I absolutely loved it, and I wish that there was more. I know that there's more stories, and I know that they cut this together actually last minute because it wasn't supposed to come out until either this fall, right?
I think it was coming out like May or June, but they brought it up because of the pandemic to get people something to do. Yeah, they bumped it up like a month or two, but
because
I mean, I just love like everyone who like the Gary Payton, like, oh, I locked him down, like this, that, and the other thing, and he's like, I have no problem with the glove. I had other stuff on my mind. Like, what? Like, you're just gonna let me give that man credit like for 2 games? Like, yeah, I basically, I wasn't really worried about basketball for those 2 games.
Jesus,
so
yeah.
I was like,
oh, yeah,
that man, craziness.
Yeah, and not only that, right now, still top of the game in the shoe game.
Oh, 100%.
He's selling more shoes than any of the current basketball players combined.
You know what's crazy is like the white and black. I think there's been 6 different numbers of Jordans, but they all look the same and they all sell. And they're one of the biggest collectors. The Space Jam shoes are ridiculous amounts.
Yeah.
And then, the fact that he talked about he wanted to wear like his original shoes and his feet were bleeding and he still put up like 60 points in the garden.
Yeah.
What?
It's insane to me. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that guy, it was lovely. Took us back to my childhood. I mean, like, what was this? So speaking of Space Jam, what do you think the sales pitch was? Like, hey, I want you guys to be in this movie with me, but I'm gonna be with the Looney Tunes, and you guys are gonna be terrible at basketball, where they steal your powers. You guys want to come film this movie with me?
Yep.
Like, how do you pitch that to like the top NBA players? Because I think LeBron's having issues getting like these superstars to come to Space Jam too.
Yeah, well, I think you did, but I think they got it filled now. I'm not sure. Let me look up to new Space Jam players.
I mean, that sales pitch just must have been, something completely different.
So the new Space Jam players are going to be Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, obviously, Kyle Kuzma.
So he's just literally picking his teammates?
Yeah, Damian Lillard and Chris Paul.
So his friends.
Yeah.
And Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if it was accurate going back to then, it'd be Kevin Durant. Because he had, basically, well, other than Sean Bradley, but the other 4 at top of their game. So, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, those are all debatable who could be, but I mean, I love Damian Lillard. The fact, like, the people asked him about stress, he's like, this isn't stress. This isn't stressful. This is a basketball game. The person who's working 2 jobs to feed their family, the person worried about the next meal, that's stress. And like that kind of stuff just amazing. When you have athletes like that who talk about this is a game. We get paid to pay game. This isn't stressful. This isn't, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And people who everyday lives are struggling. And then, you see Zion Williams paying some of his money to the workers of the Pelicans arena. These athletes giving back to the people who take care of them because they're out of work. I mean, those are the kind of stories I'd love to see. These athletes, not them like frolicking around with the Kardashians or whatever. Just giving back to the people that help make who pay them basically.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, well, let's shift gears here. Let's talk about some movies. So that's our sports segment. This movie we just read, Gambit. It's Channing Tatum's out, but the production's back on. Gambit is probably my favorite, one of my favorite superheroes. He's my favorite X-Men. I loved him in the cartoon series. I think he's just such a unique and interesting character with his cards and his pull and the Cajun accent. I absolutely love Gambit, and he's one of my favorites of all time.
Same. He's absolutely my favorite X-Men. Yeah, next to Jubilee. I just
What?
I love Jubilee, man.
Whoa.
I love Jubilee.
You give me 15 guesses of your top 2 X-Men. I don't think I'm hitting Jubilee.
How awesome would it be to shoot fireworks out of your hands, man? Just
no.
Pew. Done. Pew pew pew.
That was fun. No. Zero desire. Jubilee.
Yeah.
I think you love that cartoon because she was like the main character starting off in it.
Well, I did. Yeah, that was. I did start watching a lot of X-Men when I was younger. The cartoon, I watched it like almost every Saturday.
Plus too.
Oh yeah. I rewatched it. I rewatched the series.
Jubilee, bro.
Yeah, Jubilee.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
If you said I'd give you $1 million, Travis, right now to name Kenny's top X-Men, Jubilee wouldn't have been a guess. Honest to God, never would have guessed it.
Yep.
I forgot she was even an X-Men until you just said it.
Yeah. She was in the one of the newer X-Men's.
Don't get me started on that garbage can of crap. I cannot stand the X-Men.
The one where the school gets destroyed. You know that movie?
The new one?
Yeah, the newer one.
With Diamond or Kevin Bacon. Yeah. The thing, like the Days of Future Past, where they go to the future and they come past, and then they go on to I don't know. That the whole thing just screwed me up. Now, like Stryker didn't take Wolverine; it was Rogue that took him. So how did he get adamantium claws and all of their stuff? Don't get me like the X-Men needs completely redone because it's so many great characters.
They're starting. Disney is going to start rolling them into the MCU, I believe, in this here really soon. Actually, they supposedly weren't going to be doing a third Deadpool, but now I'm hearing that they are.
See, I don't know if they can because Deadpool's are, and I think they're trying to do the same thing. But on top of that, they're also talking about redoing all the Defenders stuff that was on Netflix. And I liked how it was dark. I loved Daredevil and Punisher were amazing.
Yeah,
I didn't really care for Jessica Jones personally, and Luke Cage was all right. And Iron Fist was just so. The first season was terrible, and he said because basically he was filming Iron Fist and Defenders at the same time, so the choreography was literally like right before they shoot, and you can tell. Yeah. But season 2 got better. But speaking of Daredevil, he's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Matt Murdock defending Peter Parker after they released who he's Spider-Man.
The same character from.
I believe it is going to be him, and I think there's also rumors that Jessica Jones is going to be in it. And then I just read that Captain Marvel, she's going to be like a love triangle with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage in her new movie. And I think the new Thor, there's going to be some other characters that are going to try to roll in there as well.
Oh.
Which is exciting, but who knows what's actually going to happen. But I know Daredevil's officially confirmed whether he's actually Daredevil or it's just Matt Murdock as a lawyer.
Yeah. That's awesome. So because I did love Daredevil on the Netflix series. It was
amazing.
The choreography and just the way they filmed it was phenomenal to me. And like they had the really long fight scenes that he would do where he was like actually being wore down and tired during it, and you could see that, and it was just like that stuff is like, because superhero stuff it's always like, I can never tire out, blah blah blah, I'll just beat up all of this 100 people, and it's like, no, he's an actual he has like bat-like senses, so he could see stuff like that and sense things, but he's still wore down like a real human.
Yeah, the one scene where he's like fighting out of an apartment or a hallway.
Yeah,
and hallway, it's like one continuous shot, and you can tell he's just like,
Yep. Yep. And then
he
like
gets out of
new
it, and he's
doors
like,
would just open the farther he gets down there. It's like the Train to Bassane. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I really recommend watching that.
no, I haven't.
Watch it. It's phenomenal, and I believe that there's a second one that is out also, or they're making another one. But it is captioned, so take that.
Yeah, I mean, because
You'll have to
Daredevil, he's
read.
always he does it, and then like he like goes back to his apartment, like cut up and bleeding, and the nurse comes and patches him up, and he runs, and then like 2 days later, 3 days, he's out reopening his stitches again.
Yep.
The same with like Punisher, he's always beat up.
Oh, Punisher. Yep.
God, I mean, those are amazingly done. I'm so sad that they cancel them. I really hope Disney Plus redoes them back on their platform, but it's kind of darker, so I don't know if that's what they're going for, because Disney's all about family friendly. But
Yeah.
with
But
the Marvels, all these interesting characters with this darkness in them.
yeah. And that's the whole thing. They own an entity where it's inherently dark. Like we're
Yeah,
talking about. I mean, X-Men is mostly, I mean, at its core, about racism. I don't know if you knew that or not,
yeah,
but that's
separating mutants from non-mutants. Yeah,
yes, exactly. That's at its core. That's what it's about. So it's inherently dark, and it's the destruction that race, and that's insane. That's insane to me now that I think about it. In that context, knowing that, um, and it makes it maybe even better or more relevant today to make sure that those things stay the way that they are, and that they are kind of dark, and that there are dark things in this world, and I think
right.
they need to do that.
I just hope they go away from their friend. It's Marvel. You need to be true to Marvel and what they're all about. You're paying all this money for it.
Yeah.
You need to let them do it, because the thing that bothered me was Venom was supposed to be rated R. I mean, you saw the success of Deadpool, you saw the success of Wolverine with a rated R, and then Venom, I was excited. And this is going to be rated R. It's going to show this anti-hero sort of, but they made it PG-13 because I think they want to incorporate it into Spider-Man, which is PG-13. But I think it could have been amazingly done if it was rated R, with a lot of more darkness in that, and the struggles that he, in the film, he battles with Venom, trying to accept as part of him and what Venom is doing. And at the end, we are Venom.
Yep, exactly. And I think that there is a space in Disney for R-rated to show those things. Yeah, Deadpool is one thing, but then you are potentially missing out on things like Logan.
Right. But I mean, dude,
Logan
you ever
to me
watch
was
Disney movies now as an adult? Like, there's a lot of hidden adult humor
yeah,
in there that you don't understand as a kid.
funky butt loving. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff that goes over your head.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of, like, hidden things also in there
Yeah.
that, they try to sneak in, like the Little Mermaid penis, like on the thing, and the
Yeah.
Sex in the Sky and Lion King, and Aladdin, good teenagers take off their clothes, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think, with parental stuff now, you could lock that. And so you can make it your Disney Plus. Like, here's, mature content rated R, and you can lock that, because there's just so much stuff there now. I hope they stay true to it, like you said, because there's just so much greatness that you could see, this darkness to add, this that people want to see.
The depths of the story, and I think we're potentially losing out on storylines like Logan is it would be detrimental. I think that's probably my favorite superhero movie, if just because of the finality of it. It was just so brutally honest, the whole movie, and I loved it.
100%.
Yeah,
and I liked it because you got the blood and guts, but you see him like struggling. You see Professor X struggling, losing his mind. The most powerful mutant there ever was can't control it because he's getting old and he's losing control of himself, which everyone can relate to. You're getting old, and you're seeing, people struggle, losing their facilities, and then Logan, the guy who regenerates everything, indestructible man, and he can't do that anymore. And on top of that, you kind of have like, this child, this protege he's trying to mentor and show them the proper way. I mean, that movie is just beautifully done. And there's so much character depth and development and story there that if you look into it, it's very beautiful done outside of the gore and craziness.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Also the their Batman, they're going to be releasing the Kevin Snyder cut.
Zach,
yep, sorry. I don't know.
Kevin.
I was thinking Kevin Feige. I was thinking Kevin Feige from Marvel, and then yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't it Justice League, or is it Batman vs Superman?
It's going to be. I think it's going to be Justice League. Which one did he leave?
I think it was Justice League. It's his cut, and they're talking about 4 hours because there isn't a Batman movie. Ben Affleck never did one. That's now Robert Pattinson, which is going to be interesting to see. But I mean, I think he's an underrated actor. But
yeah,
I think it was the Justice League is his cut, and they're talking it's probably going to be might be up to 4 hours long.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to do it because he filmed a lot of it, but I don't know. Right. I highly doubt that they're going to do like reshoots or anything like that. So I wonder if they're doing.
It's going to be his director's cut, so stuff that he probably cut it out and it's going to edit it.
There's a whole new villain.
What?
That's the whole thing. It's a whole different villain.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, let me pull it up. I forgot the villain name. Darkseid. That's who is going to be the villain in it. Darkseid's appearance in the Snyder Cut. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's on that new HBO Max thing. Whatever, I haven't really looked into that.
They're coming out with their own streaming service.
Everyone's coming out with their own streaming services, man. It's like impossible to keep anything.
Yeah. So that was the whole point. That was the whole point of like Netflix. It was like, oh, everything's here, and now everybody's having their own thing. So I'm gonna get him to spending $100 a month now.
Which I am now seeing a lot of reports that Robert Downey Jr. might be coming back. Chris Evans might be coming back. So all these guys that didn't want to be typecasted into these superhero movies might be coming back into the Marvel universe for reprising their roles. Because I mean, we got Spider-Man coming out, Guardians 3, Doctor Strange 2. I mean, so I hope they do come back because they're such great characters, and I'd hate to see them, go away, or how they're going to bring them back, because they basically try to, Captain America's old. Yeah. So that's kind of how he went off in the sunset, and, Iron Man died. Yeah. But how they're going to bring him back, but it's just going to be so weird without them, seeing them in there, how they're actually going to do that. Because, I mean, I think Thor is basically in Guardians 3. He's going off of them. I don't really looked into it, but.
Yep. Well, yeah, we'll see how it all pans out. I'm not positive, but I think the next superhero movie that I'm super excited for is Wonder Woman.
That's the next one's coming out.
Yep. Yeah, 1984. Which, by the way, I love like 80s retro movies. That's just like, everybody's going to the mall, everybody's wearing neon, like that. The
other thing I don't like is that her husband's alive. Chris Pine is back alive.
Yeah.
Like, he died in World War II, and now he's alive again.
So he's Captain America?
Well, he got frozen, first of all, which is completely something that can happen. All right? He didn't die. Well, I guess Superman came back to life.
You got frozen in Antarctica.
Right. You don't know. You weren't there, man.
No, I wasn't. I was not there. I was not there.
Elsa was there, and she snapped her fingers and froze them, and it was good to go.
Yep. Absolutely. No, but I think 1984 is going to be that's the next one. That's the next big one coming out. So we're gonna maybe it's coming out this year. I don't know yet.
Stuff. I mean, I know here movie theaters are reopening, but not across the country yet. But
yeah,
I don't know, and they're talking about what a Universal buying or who? No,
Amazon. Amazon
Amazon.
buying AMC.
Yeah, because they don't want to show Universal Pictures.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Yeah. AMC. Yeah, AMC's gonna. We'll see how that all ends up going. Movie theaters are going to be struggling, and there's a lot of movie producers and stuff were like, you know what, hey, a lot of people don't want to spend the money. Why? And they're thinking to themselves, why are we giving them a cut when we can just
we talked about that last episode.
Yeah, we can just make all of it. So I think,
speaking of Amazon, there is a new MMORPG coming out called New World that I'm super excited about. Which you care, but it's basically they're making it, and there's no classes like a lot of these MMOs are. You basically kind of MMORPGs. You kind of build your own character how you want, and so I'm looking forward, really excited for this and new online game that I can play. That's like World of Warcraft, but I'll more to come once I actually get into the beta. Hopefully. Get some gameplay in it, but
I might be able to jump in on that. Something that doesn't have a history or something like that. Like WoW, and we can learn it together. Maybe
Perfect. Yeah. So I mean, it's coming. I think this summer.
Okay.
And so I've been looking into it. Looks really exciting. Plus, it's from Amazon, so who knows how they're. I don't think they've ever made a game before, so it's gonna be interesting how they do that.
They bought a gaming production company, I believe, and that's what they just house the structure for the games and hosting and stuff like that, I believe. But and then that's it. That's interesting. I knew that they were doing something, but I didn't realize that they were coming out with something big. That's awesome.
So it's the beta. Let me find out. I think it's available July. New World beta. No, so 2020 July. Yep, I was right. That's when the open beta, and it's supposed to be released August 25th. And so that is kind of the thing, and it's gonna come at a good time because right now, World of Warcraft is kind of at a standstill. It's we got Shadowlands coming out sometime, probably December. We're not quite sure, and this Battle for Azeroth is kind of winding down, and it's getting kind of like where that boring part. There's really not much to do. You kind of done everything you can. So I think it's come at the right time to kind of hook some of these players that are probably going to be leaving World of Warcraft because the expansion is just so far off. So I'm really excited to see what this game's going to be and develop into. If it is going to be something that can stand up to the juggernaut that is World of Warcraft. But
yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I think I could jump in on that.
See definitely gonna check that out here, in a couple of months. I think that's pretty much covered a lot. I mean, and we're, kind of right now, we're two struggling streamers, but for us, it's all about just having fun. What are some of the struggles, or obstacles you're having, on your stream trying to, get people?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily. I think Facebook algorithms aren't necessarily best for small streamers or people starting out. I do think that we need to start branching out a little bit and trying to get people to come in from different sources like YouTube and stuff like that. I think that's our next big thing is that or for me anyways, is that I need to start recording more gameplay and putting it on YouTube to draw people to my stream and going that route. I think, and I don't know, and honestly, I think maybe me just playing that single game right now is Call of Duty might be hindering the growth a little bit too. So maybe I need to expand to different games. I know this is weird, but there's a trucking game that's out right now that it looks pretty
Yes, I've
cool.
seen it.
Where you just
Yep.
go, you pick up contracts and you just haul stuff through mud and stuff like that. So I'm like, maybe I could just do something like that. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
just have
So
fun
I mean, yeah,
where
it
I'm
is because
mostly
they're
talking with the people. It's rather than
right.
yeah.
See, I can see that because the big time streamers are playing those, and I think there's a couple of guys that blew up by playing Valorant because there wasn't as many people playing that, and they kind of got in on the ground floor of the beta, and people started funneling in. But I know a huge game that a lot of people is Grand Theft Auto role playing that you see that Good Game Bro got
Yeah.
into, and Nitro Luke was doing for a while. I mean, there are so many people that love watching that.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy I work with said he watches this one guy who's literally just a taxi driver, just drives around picking people up, or a tow truck driver,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to be, you can be in it.
Yeah.
And you basically you're role playing, so you got to stick to whoever you are.
Yeah.
And that it's huge, and there's so much stuff on the server that is. I mean, you can be a cop, you can be a criminal. I mean, if you can literally be a taxi driver and drive people around and pick them up and
Yeah.
take them to the airport, or prison guard or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that I don't know if that would be for me because I don't think I could stay in character the whole time.
Yeah.
I'd be too. I don't know how much.
Yeah.
Serious
Like, I'm just gonna punch this guy.
Right. I probably would.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I mean,
but
that's a whole thing. But I mean, I think you're right on the YouTube. Like I put my clips on Facebook, but that's only for my people, and I tag or Call of Duty, or it's kind of hard to do World of Warcraft clips
yeah.
just because the fights are long and stuff like that. But if you start posting them on YouTube or other places as well to get your name out there, that is a good idea. But to me, I find it's hard when I have 0 viewers or 1 viewer and they're not like interacting with me to like talk to them and like try to keep them engaged. If I don't, I'm trying to talk to them and I'm getting nothing back.
Yeah.
That's why it's easy. Like when we group up and we can just have back and forth banter and these guys can listen. But I'm not getting anything from the chat just because we don't really have that many people right now. And so, I mean, that's my biggest struggle is constantly trying to talk to them and getting nothing back and trying to keep them engaged, but basically talking to myself.
Yeah. Nope, understand that, and I think that's why we might be too reliant on gaming with our friends in that aspect. So that's why I want to start branching out a little bit to those other games that are basically so people have the opportunity to come in and ask questions and talk to me and stuff like that. And so I think whereas if I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm playing Warzone, I'm not necessarily looking at the chat right away. So somebody might have come in and said, "Hey, what's up?" blah blah blah, and then by the time I respond to them, they're not there. So I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that interaction. I missed that opportunity to connect with that person, to make them a follower or a continuous watcher. I know that we both got one guy that's pretty regular and to throw some stars at us every once in a while. And that all happened because I interacted with him, for 5 minutes, and I made sure I was playing Call of Duty. I was dying a lot, but I was making sure that I was interacting with him while I was doing it. And I made a connection, and then he gave me a tip and gave me stars. And so that was awesome. And I thanked him, and I don't expect anybody to give me stars. I want them to watch. I just love playing video games, and I want to do that with people. And so
right, and that was like my experience. I got my one World of Warcraft fan who comes in, watches me, right, sit there, talk with him. He's kind of like where I'm at, but not really. And so he's asking questions, because our guild fell apart. So, we hit a roster boss, as we call it. We just couldn't field people. But the past 3 weeks, every World of Warcraft stream, he's coming in, hitting like, there's no stars. I don't care about that. It's just me and him basically just talking back and forth, talking about World of Warcraft, which I love World of Warcraft. I've played it 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all these other Blizzard games that, like, you know, I love Overwatch, but there's really not that many people to play with. So, I mean, I think we should branch out and try other games, try to get those other audience members. But I mean, there's people that only like want those certain games. You know, you talk about people who have to play Fortnite because it's just so big that people want to watch it and they want to be involved. You know, and that's not really my cup of tea. I don't think I could play Fortnite a lot. I just don't like the gameplay. I don't like the build.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's these other games, you know, like Valorant, that looks interesting. Counter-Strike plus Overwatch. I mean, that's something that I could really get into, possibly, if I like the gameplay of it.
Yeah. But that, yeah, it's just basically CSGO with Overwatch stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's 100%. But it's a new game. It's a new concept. I mean, I enjoy Apex. You know, I'm not good at it. I have to learn the mechanics, and I forget what abilities I have half the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's not a lot of people that like it, and I don't think there's really that many Apex streamers on Facebook.
Yeah, I follow.
I can only think of like a handful.
I follow a guy.
Everyone's on Warzone right now.
Yeah, I follow a guy that was in the pipeline before, and he plays it quite a bit still. His name is Jester, I believe, and he does it. So it's
I think that's another resource we're not utilizing is the pipeline, the collaboration. You know, like trying to branch out and, you know, meeting these other streamers in this community that we're in, and trying to, like, you know, get with them and like, hey, let's play some games. But I mean, if obviously since they're streamers, we shouldn't have any issues. But you know, a lot of our issues is our game speak doesn't work on Warzone. So like when I played with Tom on PlayStation, we couldn't use that game speak. He had to come in our Discord to play, which had some, you know, limited abilities.
Yeah, but I think that's the other thing is if you're a streamer, you're gonna have Discord. Yeah. Right. So that's what I kind of want to start moving towards, is making sure that the people we play with does have Discord, because it's a lot more clear chat. It's instantaneous also.
Yep. I mean, you can do push to talk as well. So, I mean, you can use your keyboard for push to talk, so you can have that, you know, interaction with your chat, and then push to talk with your, you know, in Discord. So they're not hearing you talk to your chat all the time. Especially with keyboard, it's a lot easier. I don't know how you do it on controller. It might be a little bit harder for you to do. But I know on keyboard, when I play World of Warcraft, mine's control. So I can talk with my Discord, my guild, and then I can also talk to my chat without them being interactive, without voice activate, is push to talk.
Yeah, that's all controlled on the hardware side for me. Basically, or the software side, where I flip a switch back and forth. So I have a Stream Deck that I can just push buttons and stuff like that, and change it, mutes audio for whoever I need it to mute and all that stuff. So it does
not take away, like, if you have to like take your controller away to press a button.
Yeah,
it does. So you see mine, since, you know, we're on the keyboard, I can just, you know, hit, you know, right there, because I know WASD is your movement basically on everything. So you know, right there. But so I mean, I don't know. It's something we could look into, is trying to get some, you know, collaboration with these other guys. I know I follow them on Twitter. You know, some of these other guys I've kind of talked to, and, you know, some of the smaller streamers trying to build together. But I mean, there's some people who took off, you know, and so
because some of the guys that I've seen on Pipeline, you know, I've seen them talking, you know, I'm struggling, blah blah blah, and then literally 3 months later, I'm showing, you know, that they have, you know, 1,500 followers and stuff like that. So I think I don't know if we're necessarily utilizing it the way we need to be utilizing it.
I don't think we are at all. So I mean, I know they gave us a playbook to help out, but I think we need to start streaming with these other people and kind of learn from them. But not only them, you know, get introduced to their audience. If they're bigger than us, you know, they can kind of see, you know, we're mediocre, but, you know, we're entertaining.
Yeah.
And that's all it's about, is entertainment. Like Dr. Disrespect, I don't think anyone watches him for his gameplay.
Yeah.
He's very entertaining, and he's hilarious. All the production value, he's good, but he's no Shroud.
Yeah.
I mean, Shroud's amazing.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I haven't watched Shroud forever since he switched to Mixer.
Yeah, I haven't watched him or Ninja. Like, I don't watch Mixer.
Yep, that's exactly. I have Twitch. I have a Twitch thing on my TV, on my Amazon Fire TV, and so I can watch my Twitch channels and everything there. And also, Facebook has an app on the Amazon Fire also where you can watch live streams. So I watch you sometimes on my big fucking TV.
Oh, I look good up there.
Yeah, you're just so big. No, but it's I think that's what we just really need to start branching out a little bit more. I need to focus on it a little bit. I'm right now. I have a lot of things.
Too many eggs in your basket.
Yeah, and so I'm taking my time with it. I'm not super focused on it, and but I should probably start trying to focus on it a little bit more, spend a little bit more time. I've been trying to do longer streams. I've been going about 4.5 hours on my streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, see, basically, my whole thing is if I'm going to be playing, I might as well stream it.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's, you might catch some people who normally, look for you or whatever. You might jump in that algorithm or whatever. But I mean, if I'm playing, I might as well stream it. I started to record stuff so I can put clips out there. Just because I make these, lately I've been getting some really good sniper shots, and for whatever reason, I never had any recording of them.
Yeah.
So finally, I have some of some good shots, or I think another thing we should work on is some of the funny things that happen or the dumb banter. Like the thing I had with Zach the other day, where I said, "Hey," he's like, "I'm getting shot at," and he goes, "Where from?" And I go, "I don't remember." Like, yep. What? You don't remember? That was legit. What?
Yep.
Did I have a stroke? What just happened?
Yep.
I just happened to be recording that, and yeah. I don't remember. I'm like, whoops. I mean, I don't know. So I think it is key to record our stuff, and then get those edits in there, and just throw them out there. I mean, so you never know. It might catch. We're always just one click away from becoming a viral thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, just anytime I'm on, unless I don't feel good, if I just whatever, I'm just gonna stream it all. I know you have your set times, but on your off days, like a Monday or a Friday, just throw it up there. Yeah. I know you have your set times, but I mean, if you're playing, you might as well stream it.
Yeah. No, but I think
something might happen.
And I think when I do play on Mondays, it's at a weird time, and for me, it's like there is an inherent pressure when you stream.
Not for me. If really? I'm streaming, no. Why am I? Is there any pressure? I'm playing a video game.
Yeah, for me, I feel that. And that's just the way. So I just like to play video games to play video games.
If I'm playing by myself or doing something, then I probably won't. But if I'm playing with you or Zach, the guys, I might as well stream it because something funny might happen, or someone might come in and see some banter. But that's no pressure because usually I'm at 0 or 1 viewers, so there's no pressure. So
yeah,
I mean, this starts to go up. Yeah, I can see more pressure, and if you start getting consistently, 10 people watching you. But for right now, I'm just trying to get content out there. I'm just trying to, I got lucky with a couple of people who like my World of Warcraft stuff, and they come in and they, sit here and talk. Yeah, and that wouldn't have happened if I didn't start just streaming random stuff, and then I'm just grabbing these people, one by one. Got to build it up.
Yep.
Everyone starts at 0, so that's why I'm saying, if we're on, let's just stream it.
Right.
I mean,
makes sense.
Who cares? If you feel pressure, then that I understand. Just
but that's what it's just the way it is. That's the way it feels for me. Is I would just much rather. My stress reliever is playing video games. That's one of the things for me.
Yep.
And so, when I hit the play button, it seems to, or the stream button, I feel like I have to. I'm not putting on a show or anything like that, but I am much more. I'm thinking about what's going on in the chat and what's how to interact with them and stuff like that. So that kind of takes away the not necessarily the enjoyment, but
I get you.
It kind of segments it a little bit for me.
But with anything, you got to learn. just basically hit that. Just know that they're here to watch you. We don't have haters right now who are talking shit to us. Like, oh, you're trash. Yeah, I know I'm trash, dude. Fuck off.
That's just Zach.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just they're there to watch you, and if a lot of them are, if you watch these big streamers, they're all supportive and they want to interact. Not only that, you got, eventually, hopefully, we get to the stage where, we have a lot of people, and we got to be able to learn to play and look at chat because they help you. Like, oh, you missed this, or hey, there's someone there. Yeah. So I mean, it's just going to take practice. I don't feel any pressure. I'm playing video games.
Yeah.
Regardless, there's people watching me. It's like when we were kids and you had to take turns. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like one person would play. You watch over the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's the same thing if like we die and we watch you run up the ground and talk shit to you. It's the same concept. It's just we're in your ear and you can hear us, whereas they're just typing.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, if you feel pressured, then definitely don't. But I mean, the one way to learn how to manage that stress and that stuff is by doing.
Nope.
So I mean, you do 2 days a week. So I do, typically 3, but then Friday nights if I'll do something, or Monday, just get in there and just be yourself. You're a funny, approachable dude. People see that. So
Yep. All right.
Well, I think that about wraps up episode 2. Kind of went off the rails a little bit on our given agenda, but get us together, just stuff happens.
Yeah, we just start talking.
Yep. No. So we have a kind of a loose structure of things you want to talk about, and then things just pop in the old mind. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys stopping by for episode 2 of the Mediocre Gamers. Again, I am Travis INF Rebel on Facebook Gaming. He is Kenny at DMI Patriot at Facebook Gaming, and we are the Mediocre Gamers. Any final thoughts?
No, I don't. I'm out. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your Memorial Day. I hope you guys take some time to appreciate those who fought for your freedom, and take a second. As a veteran myself, this is always a tough day because I did lose people, but I like to keep their memories and the sacrifices they made. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're still working on stuff, so if you have any feedback, hit us up. Let us know. What are some things you'd like to hear us talk about, or what are some things you think we can improve on? But anyways, if you haven't, please subscribe to our channels, and then hit us up on Facebook anytime.
Yep. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Later.